Top of the morning to you all. Welcome to another edition of See You in the Morning. I am, of course, your host, Cletus Cassidy, man. So excited to be here with you all, man. Y'all could have been doing a lot of different things, man, but y'all tuned in and chose to start your Friday off. I don't know if you started off right or not, but you started it off here. Now, for those of you who are wondering, what is See You in the Morning? See You in the Morning is my horrible idea to get up in the morning and start sharing my life, just the things that are on my mind, stuff that I'm thinking about. And I get up in the morning, man, somewhere in the 7 o'clock region. It may be close to 7, it may be far from 7, but it's in the 7 o'clock region. The time is always going to start with 7 o'clock. But sometime in the morning, I get up and I expose y'all to my thoughts. So if this is your first time hearing this, man, you're about to experience something so cold. If you are a returning viewer, man, I thank you so much for coming back. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with me, and I appreciate that, man. Today's shirt is just the lifestyle. That's how I feel today. Nope, not today. Not today. Sometimes you gotta have a nope, not today attitude. And that applies to a lot of things. People gonna come with some foolishness. You be like, nope, not today. You be like, you gonna work hard? Nope, not today. You got time for it? Nope, not today. Hold on, give me one quick second. Sometimes you gotta go to a personal commercial to do something with your body. Well, if I gotta rub my left nipple, I'm gonna go ahead and not expose y'all to that. So the first thing that I do in the morning, not saying I necessarily had to rub my left nipple, but if I did, I won't go and expose y'all to the nippleization. That's just me. Oh, anyway, first thing I do in the morning is I speak to everybody. If I ain't sleep with you, I'm gonna speak with you. So let me start off by speaking. You know, the first 3 people that I speak to in the morning, they get little medals. They get little medals. So let me start it off with the bronze medals going to T. Mitchell. Good morning, GM. Good morning. We become a society that typing all the letters is just too much. You better understand what's going on from what I give you. So good morning. So right there, T gave me the good morning because it's a capital G, little M. Now Kim Cat Thomas Jones comes in with the silver medal all the way live. Good morning. See that? That's the G and the M. Both of them are caps. So she's yelling, good morning. You know, that's a good morning. Good morning. I don't know how deep Kim's voice is. She could be a lady tenor. Good morning. But we're going to hope for the best. And winning the gold medal today is Tina Hernandez. Tina Hernandez with the gold medal. And let me speak to everybody else in here. Good morning, Wilberta, the sheriff, Wilberta Carter, the Pope, Calvin J. Hill. Ertha is in the building. Crystal Sex Appeal. They told me you was on a boat. They said you was on a boat, Crystal. If you watching from the boat, then I feel really, really special. And if you home, then not as special, but special enough to know that you came back home and still watch the show. So thank you. Crystal Tasty Panel in the building. The Wanda Wood. Good morning. The Pride of North Carolina, Courtney Weston Murphy. Hope you've been air conditioned. Hope you got some cool air coming through your house. My man Al, I'm glad you're in here, Al. I'm glad you're here, Al, because I need some men in here today. Today's show requires some men. We need some men folk in here. Tony Fogle, good morning. Dolores, good morning. Good morning. Michelle McKinney, Lisa Bazemore Bishop, good morning. So we're going to get right into the show today. Let's talk some serious stuff, though. Yesterday, I had a couple of appointments. As y'all can see today, no glasses, all contacts. Y'all see it. Look in the eyes. You see them. You see them. You see the beauty of them. You see those eyes. No color in the contacts. That's all me. No, all 100% natural. Went to the eye doctor, got the contacts put in, so I'm feeling good about myself with the contacts. No glare. And so it's the vainest reason in the world I want contacts. I was just wanting contacts only because I didn't want anything in my eye. Crystal said, "This is my last cruise." That she's watching from the boat. Man, walk into the middle of the boat, man, and make somebody strange watch the show. Just be like, "Hey, look, watch this." I know you probably in your room, in your skivvies, because y'all been having boat sex, and the boat has been adding to the. Does that make it better? I've never had boat sex. I've never had any sex, so it doesn't matter. But that would seem like if you get on the boat and the boat be moving and you be moving and everybody move all together, man, that's got to be amazing. Anyway, um, I went to the ear, nose, and throat specialist yesterday to find out what I'm allergic to. Found out I'm allergic to everything. Everything. Definitely can't eat shrimp. So the threshold that when you do an allergy test, they give you your results back. If it's more than 0.1, you have uh you may be allergic to, but you have some sort of sensitivity. If your numbers come back more than 0.1, you got some kind of sensitivity to whatever that is. So shrimp came up a 14 for me. I was like, what the world? I'm finna die on a shrimp. Amazingly, wheat. Wheat. I have a sensitivity, allergic, or something to wheat. I'm not supposed to eat wheat, which is God telling me I need you to be fat. Because when they tell you if you're gonna go out there and eat wheat bread, don't eat some whole grain oats. But apparently my body's like, nah, cuz. I mean, I can't drink beer. It's a lot happening. And God wants me fat. God's like, have this white bread. If you can't have a white woman, have white bread. All right, so moving on. But when I was in there was an ear, nose, and throat doctor. So I was like, you know what? Check my ears out, doc. Sometimes I feel a little heavy in this ear. This ear feels a little heavy. He went in, he put some peroxide in my ear, and he had an ear vacuum. And he vacuumed out my ear. And let me tell y'all something. Again, ladies, I learned something in today's show. This statement may be a little far for y'all, but I'm gonna go ahead and give it to y'all like it ain't never been given before. I realized that when I finally go ahead and enter into the gates of glory and have a little bit, the woman's gonna enjoy it a lot more than the man is. I've heard many people talk about the fact that sex is better for women than men. Men have a good time with it, but it's all about y'all. And they always say, if you want an example of how you know that it's better for the woman than the man, they like put your finger in your ear. Move your ear. What feels better, your ear or your finger? And you be like, oh yeah, it's definitely the ear. But yesterday, that man put that ear vacuum in my ear. And it caused a tingling and a sensation in my nether regions. Man, it felt so good. It hurt a little bit, but it felt good at the same time. I was like, this has got to be the closest I've ever been to being a woman. This right here, I was transgender for the whole minute and a half that they was ear vacuuming me. He put that thing in my ear, man, and my toes tingled a little bit. He was like, Brent, we want you back in another 6 months so we could do it again. I was like, can we make this weekly? Like, I was like, how about I see you a little sooner than that? Like, it was crazy. It was a good feeling. Felt good. That's all I'm telling y'all. Felt Tony. It feels good. So ladies, y'all got it. Y'all winning in here. Y'all winning in the game of life. It was a lot. And Tam, I know you probably just tuned in, and that's the first thing you heard because you immediately started to hold your head, but face palming. But that's what it was. So anyway, speaking of palms, speaking of face palms, speaking of palms, let's talk cheeks. Let's talk booty cheeks. Keke Palmer is in. That's all I saw on my timeline yesterday was Keke this, Keke that. Keke, do you love me? Are you riding? It was all Keke Palmer and the father of her children. Father of her children. They were probably in a relationship. They lived together, and that's all people talked about yesterday. Now, if you missed it, if you were living under a rock, if you've been on a cruise ship for the last whatever number of days, Keke Palmer stays in that news. Keke Palmer stays in that news. You hear me? She was recently in the news because of her comments about Claire Huxtable. You know, she called Claire Huxtable bougie. She said Claire Huxtable was bougie. And people was all on Keke about that. And I actually defended Keke on that. And I said, hey, Keke, I think you're right, Keke. Claire Huxtable is a little bit on the bougie side. But now she's in there again because of her boyfriend. Her boyfriend had an issue with Keke at a Usher concert. Oh, maybe it was Keke's birthday party. She invited Usher. One thing I know about Usher is Usher's a home wrecker. She invited Usher. She had on an outfit. And I'm looking at Tab. I'm looking at some of the comments. This is what I want to comment on. Apparently, she went to a show, and let's just go Let's look at Kiki's outfit. Let's look at Kiki's outfit really, really quickly. And let's see what happened here. Let's see what happened. This is Kiki with Usher. Here outfits. Grinding on Usher a little bit. All on him. There goes my baby. Singing with Usher. Look at it. Now there we go. Now this is where the problem started. Look at Usher's face. Look at Kiki. Usher is about to risk it all. This is Usher Raymond. This is Usher. These are my confessions, Raymond. This is confessions part 1 and 2. Usher Raymond. I don't hang around Usher like talking about. I can't even say that me and Usher are friends. I've known some Ushers. I've been on an Usher board. I've never been Usher. But I do know that Usher's been slaying. Usher slays them. All right? Usher slays them. But these right here, these is 2 cheeks. Those is quality cheeks. That's all cheekage. Both cheeks out to Usher. She grinded all on Usher with both cheeks out. This is crazy. This is crazy. Y'all see Usher's face. Usher's like, I'll not, yams. Oh my God. That's what Usher said. Oh my God. He hit that high note. Ooh, 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 ooh. Usher was finna be all on that. Look at every bit of Usher. Usher's face is good God. Fine china. Usher was everything on that. Usher was all on those cheeks. On them. Usher was on them cheeks. And the boyfriend saw it. The boyfriend was at home. He woke up. He went to Twitter. Oh, man, let me check Twitter this morning. And the first thing he saw was his girl's cheeks. He saw them live in living color. She told her, I'm going out with my girls for my birthday. All right, babe, have a good time. I'll be here with the baby. You do what you got to do. I didn't know you was going to be out there with your cheeks on Usher's hot dog. I didn't know you was, 4th of July was here, and I didn't know he was bringing a hot dog and you was bringing the buns. Usher, there goes my baby. That's what he's saying in the song. And Usher got up, and Usher got this young man riled up. And that young man needed to find some way to fight back. Because I saw it. I think the young man's name is Darius. And I was at the house. I was like, fight back, Darius. Fight back. Don't let this be it. And this posted all over the internet. And Darius simply says, it's the dress, though. It's the dress. You're a mom. And that's how he left it. Oh, and Twitter came for him. The internet came for Darius. Oh, they was talking about Darius like a dog. They called him a house husband, and Kiki makes more money than him. And why what you want? And you ain't married, or she could do what she want to do. All she doing is living life. How dare you clothing shame her? And this, that, and the third. And you know what? I get it. I get it. But Darius was in a bad place. And here's what killed me. All these people said, Darius gets a little more cringe when you realize that Usher's 16. Once they get grown, Kevin, it works. It is what it is at that point. We talking cheeks. Usher been looking at cheeks. Usher don't care about those cheeks. Those is not. Listen. If Usher keep looking at cheeks in his age range, they don't make cheeks like that in Usher's age range. Those is fresh young yams. That's FYY. Fresh young yams. They don't have fresh young yams no more. Once your yam start to yam, you leave a yam out. If you take a real yam, those is yams. Those ain't sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes is different. Sweet potatoes are smaller. Yams is yams. But if you leave a yam out, as a yam ages, it doesn't have its firmness anymore. It don't have the same yam shape. The appeal of the yam changes. The color of the yam. It ain't the same yam when it get old. Do you still appreciate an older yam? Absolutely. But that young, firm, in its prime yam, that's what you want. Kiki got quality yams. And she's trying to figure out how to use her yamage. The problem is she's in a relationship. She don't know how to use her yams in a relationship way. She's trying to figure out life. Kiki's still a young girl. She out there causing trouble, talking about Claire Huxtable. She don't know how to use her yams. It's her birthday. All her girls were dressed appropriately. She the only one in the whole crew. Look at the rest of the crew back there in the back. The rest of the crew back there. The rest of the crew, they ain't doing all that stuff. Let's look at the rest of the crew. The rest of the crew, look at that. That's showing a little bit. That's a little bit on the sexist side, but it's still coverage. Her yams is covered. Her homegirl got on a whole Kojic dress. Oh boy, I don't know if he's security or he just didn't know that it was a party that night. That girl right there to the left, everybody else's yams is covered. Kiki got the only yams out in the whole party. And y'all can say, okay, it's her birthday. But she the only one with her yams out. She the only person yammed up. Usher even got on a jacket. Usher got on a leather jacket. We don't even know if he knows what season it is. But then you get this. That's what it leads to. Right there. And let me tell you something. If I'm a boy, look at African Bambaataa in the back. Look at Wesley Snipes. He ain't dressed for it. Nobody got their yams out but Kiki. And she's fawning. She's doing a lot. And I ain't gonna lie to you. As a man, I'm not happy with it. I'm not happy with it. As her man, I wouldn't be happy with it. And so he came out and he said he fought back. And the internet let her have it. Now, I'll say this is more about Usher than what Kiki was wearing. I agree with you 100%. It was a mixture. Once you get the yams out and you add Usher, what's wrong? What's wrong? Go ahead. Now they say Darius went and posted a comment. They say he was fighting for himself. He was trying to make her look bad. He won't trying to make her look bad. You talk to her after, you keep some things private. And you know what? And I agree. That Darius probably shouldn't have put that. But here's the thing about it. Darius said, you put the yams out in public. You made everybody see your yams in public. My homeboys are seeing your yams now. Everybody is seeing your yams. And you know what? I'm gonna put my foot down. Everybody's seeing you out there in public. You disrespected me publicly. I'm gonna fight back publicly. I'm not gonna go as hard as I want to go. The inner me wanted to just go punch Usher in the face. That was what I wanted to do. I wanted to just go punch Usher in the face. But I held back. I didn't punch Usher in the face. But I'm going to tell you this. I don't think he saw when he left the house. I don't think he saw it in the house. But I think that they've had these discussions before. And if they haven't had these discussions before, this is a new phase that Kiki's in. And a lot of times these phases, they don't line up. They start going through these phases, and you like, hey, I need you to calm down. You going through a phase that I can't deal with. Now, he should probably talk to her about it in the house. And I don't know. Now, her boy daddy posted her twerking her yams in a skin-tight leopard cat suit not long ago. But not butthurt, because that's actually a good pun. But if she was in a leopard cat suit, her yams are still covered. There's still imagination to the yams. There was no imagination here. Yams was out. Yams was out. It's a difference. And you know what the problem is that I have? You know what it all comes down to? And I can say this. It all comes down to me, to the hypocritical nature of people. The hypocritical nature of people. So Darius goes out, he says what he wants to say. And then you know what I saw? Women coming to Kiki's defense, and it was so hypocritical that I couldn't stand it. I had to make some comments. They were like, well, it seems like to me, and I seen women I seen some men out there, and then you had the men who try to get on women's side all the time, but they don't act that way. People like, well, this is just you showing your insecurities, Darius. I was like, oh, okay. And they said it's nothing worse than a man with insecurities. Well, why can't a man have insecurities? I think everybody has insecurities. I have insecurities. Women have insecurities. Kids have insecurities. Everybody should have insecurities. Everybody should have insecurities. As a man, I don't want to see my lady cheeked up on Usher. That's an insecurity. Not only is she cheeked up on Usher, she grinding on Usher, she's smiling, she doing all this and wooing. And some people like, well, he could have just accepted that as it was, because that means that she was gonna get him something when you get home. But will you be thinking of Usher? You know, it wasn't the whole. I've seen people swoon at shows and the song come on, blah 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 blah, and you know you finna get something because that song is on. But that one, I'm watching. And I'm like, she might have come home to me, but Usher Raymond was in her head. USHERRAYMOND. That was in his head. He saw that. And he had insecurities. And women were dogging him for having insecurities. And it led me to ask the question yesterday, are men not allowed to have insecurities? Are men not allowed to have insecurities? Because people was all on him about his insecurities. Oh, this is an insecure man. You know, as many insecure women as there are. Why we can't deal with that? And here's a question that I had. I asked it yesterday, and I didn't respond to it. I just listened to what people were saying. I asked yesterday, I said, so generally speaking, when women have insecurities, men are asked to acquiesce to those insecurities. They're asked to, if that's the person that you love, don't threaten their insecurities. Don't hurt them in a way where you know they are insecure. Right? So he has an insecurity. I don't think any man in here is strong enough to be like, oh no, I was okay with. Not a lot of men. It was some men who said, no, I'm good with it, cause that means she coming home to me, and I want to flaunt my lady like that. I was like, okay, a man or a pimp? I'm not 100% sure, but okay. I don't know how many men would be okay with what went on with her. And I think a lot of you ladies got to go ahead and admit it. Y'all can say all that whole she was cute, whatever. To be in a relationship, to be in a public relationship, to be somebody who you know all your business is going to be out in the street, to be in a public relationship and you go out and you freaking Usher like that, I think we know that's wrong. And only the two of them will really know the insecurities that each one of them has. I don't know if he's been cheated on before. I don't know if he feels like he's insecure and inadequate. But she dogged whatever, all his insecurities, she went and tap danced on him. She went and brought Usher in and they two-stepped. They A-Town stomped all over his insecurities. And hurt people. So he was a little hurt and he went on the internet. And he came back and he doubled down. Listen, and he came back and he doubled down. And he's like, listen, as the man of my house, these are the standards that I have. And it's okay that we meet those. He came back and he said that. And women went crazy. Men are asked to acquiesce to the insecurities of women. If you have a woman and you know one of her insecurities is she doesn't feel pretty, they tell you as a man, if you know that your woman has this insecurity about not feeling pretty, you should do all that you can to make sure that she does feel pretty. Make sure that she does. If your woman has an insecurity where she doesn't feel like she's good enough or she's adequate, you should be doing everything that you can to make sure that she does not have an insecurity with you, that she feels good enough, that she feels adequate. I've seen situations before where women don't have a physical attribute that is high on a man's list. So for example, if you've always been a big butt guy, but you meet a woman that doesn't have a big butt, it's your responsibility to let her know that even though that's something that you like in life, she's way more important, and she's more than just a big butt. You love her, you want to be with her, not just because of her butt. Now, if she had one, that would be great, but she doesn't. So you deal with that insecurity. Make sure you're not ogling a whole lot of big butts, that you're not talking about big butts all the time, that you ain't just walking around cheeking it up. You owe her that, because that's the person that you care about. That's the person that you're in love with. So that's the same thing for this young man. He has certain insecurities. I don't know what those insecurities are because I don't know them. I'm not in their relationship. But it seems weird to me that people are bashing him because he has insecurities. There's nothing worse than an insecure man. He should be secure enough in his relationship. Okay, he should be. But that just because he should be secure enough doesn't mean that she should be out there grinding on Usher with her cheeks out. And everybody started dogging him. Now, then the second part that really upset me that I saw from women was that everybody was saying he shouldn't have any say so because, one, they not married, and then two, because she makes more money than him. Now that one right there really got me. I was so shocked. I was so shocked about the number of women who were like, he need to shut up because Kiki make the money in the house. He just be at the crib, so he can't tell. I seen the posters like, I can't believe he got on the internet that Kiki pays for using this as he's a house husband, and he shouldn't even. He's a house. He just be in the house. He shouldn't even say anything because he makes that money. I was like, well, and it was crazy that I was seeing women say that. JB said, is it an insecurity or a standard that they both should adhere to? And I agree. He said that was the standard that he sets. Now, she's still young. Kiki's still young, and she's still learning herself. And I think that I got caught up because I was reading comments. It goes both ways. Men's insecurities normally come from when they're with a woman that makes more money, have a certain position of power or popularity. Not always. I think most men have some insecurities. Let me tell you something. Men have insecurities about everything. Men have insecurities. That's why men don't want to know. Men don't want to know your number because that makes them insecure. Men don't ever want to know who your ex is for real. They see your ex, but men be a little insecure about your exes. That's 100%. It ain't got nothing to do just with power and relationship. Like some of those, now there are power insecurities, there are financial insecurities, things like that. But most of those come when we don't quote unquote make that man still feel like a man. When women take the manliness from him just because she makes more money or she has more status, right? That does happen. I see that all over the place, and I know you speaking from experience, Tan, you're a different type of person. That those insecurities come when the man ain't strong enough in who he is. If you strong enough who you, they're like right now, it's just like right now. Let's be 100% on honor. Let's be transparent and not translucent. I'm a comedian. If I were dating Tiffany Haddish, there would be some insecurities there because it would almost be difficult sometimes for me to be like, oh, she's seen as better than me. She's seen as this. She's seen as that. I would be able to deal with it. I would relish the opportunity, right? I would relish the opportunity to be her cheerleader, to be like, hey, look, let's go, girl. You number one. Let's get you in some new movies. Let's do all of this. Bring this money into the house. I'm gonna still do what I do and still be considered great in my own way. But I think there has to be a reciprocity, right? I think that even if she's higher up on the thing, she should be pouring into me in whatever level I'm in and trying to push me up. So if I'm pushing her up, she's pushing me up. Sure, she's here, but let's rise up together. Now, if I ever get to the same level as her, that's great. If I go up, I don't think a woman should be below a man. I don't think a man should. It just has to be, you know, both, right? It has to be both. I don't think that him not making as much as her makes him any less of the man in the relationship. So then people are like, well, he don't even care enough to put a ring on it. I'm looking at Kiki, right? I don't even think Kiki, I don't even think Kiki might be wanting to be wiped up yet. I don't even think she wanted to be wiped up yet. People like, he don't even care enough about, like, they just do everything in him. He ain't even care enough about her to wife her up. How you know Kiki want to be wifed up? We living in 2020, whatever year this is, 2023. People got different ideas of what they want for relationships. Some people want to be married. Some people just want to be in a relationship for a long time. Then you add the Hollywood aspect into it. Some people just don't want to be married in Hollywood. Like Hollywood is a whole different world, right? So some people like, hey, look, let's just be together for the next 75 years. Let's just be what they call intimate partners. Let's have this kid. We can still be a family. And that was one of the things he kept saying in the picture. He's like, yo, look, as the head of my family, my family, my family. Like he and Kiki, from my understanding, they believe that they are family. The rumor is he won't sign a premium. I don't know. I can't get into what they. To be 100% honest, I don't care about Kiki and Darius's life enough to move him. To publicly move how he moves, she need to lose him. It's just gonna get worse. The publicly move how she moved though, is she not gonna get worse? So, and that's the thing with a lot of women that I see. So he makes something that y'all feel like is a mistake, and he gotta go. Honestly, they both were wrong, and I'm glad I can admit that. I can say he was wrong. I'm not saying he wasn't wrong. She said, honestly, they both were wrong, but he spoke on a public platform from a place of hurt. They were best friends for years, so act like it. And I get that part. But he was still hurt. And I said earlier, hurt people hurt people. Michelle said the dress was inappropriate. So I don't know about the inappropriate of the dress. The inappropriateness of the dress depends on where you are in your relationship and how y'all feel. Some women are gonna be like, that dress was great. Some people are gonna be like, that dress is great. Me as a man, that dress is not great if you're going out without me. That's just me as a man. And then it's doubly not great when I see you in that dress caked up on Usher. Y'all can say whatever y'all want. Y'all can say whatever you want to say. The outfit is already bad enough. Then you got that outfit caked up on Usher. So Tab is saying this was about Usher, period. Here's the thing. There shouldn't even have been an Usher. I don't care if Usher serenades her. Usher can serenade her, but I know here's the thing. Usher's in a relationship. I mean, I don't know about Usher's relationship. Usher's probably just a whore. But Kiki knew she was in a relationship when she went in there and she slapped it on Usher like that. Once she put it on Usher, that's the issue. Y'all like, it's about Usher. It's not about Usher. It could be any man. It could have been any man. We let's take Usher out of the equation. Let's flip the equation. Let's flip the equation. Let's flip the equation. And Lisa, I agree, he shouldn't have blasted her publicly. He should came home and let it go. But he felt that the disrespect was public. I'm gonna fight back publicly. It's hard. We live in a social media era. Everybody was like, "Oh, look at this. Look at Kiki out here. Ain't she got a man? Oh, Kiki man ain't got no control." I'm telling you, it was one phone call by one of his boys. One of his boys called and was like, "Hey man, you seen your girl on Usher? You know what Usher be doing, right? Listen, I ain't never seen Usher with a girl that he ain't slay. Just telling you now, Kiki gave up the draws. Well, no, she didn't because she wasn't wearing none. All right, I'll hit you back. Let's reverse the roles. Let's reverse the roles. Chance the Rapper was recently seen down in some beach area, right? Chance the Rapper was at Carnival, and he got caught in a picture. He got caught in a picture dancing with some lady. Married Chance the Rapper. Let's show it up here. Let's pull the pictures up. Let's show what happened. Right? This right here, look how many pictures is dedicated to it. This right here is Chance the Rapper. The fans react to married Chance the Rapper grinding on woman in Jamaica. They were hot. People were upset. with Chance. They said he was doing too much. They said Chance was doing too much. He can't do this. Now, the attitude is completely different. The attitude of people is completely different. People ain't all upset. That's Chance right there. That's Chance on the grind. Woo! Fanny pack, nipple. You see it. People are mad at Chance. What's the difference? The accountability for husbands is higher. This is totally different. What was different about what he did and what Kiki did? Chance, he was meat to meat. He was meat to meat. Carnival's different. The culture's not the same as all people dance and they move on. They just dancing. They just dancing. His cheeks is covered. His man meat is covered. Now his wife didn't blast him on social media. Now people did. People was upset. I don't think his wife had anything to say about it. It was more about people. Now, this guy here, the guy in the background, that dude is right there, and that's a friend. You got to have a friend that's willing to watch your meat and make sure it don't go too far. I think he was looking for any sort of solidity, any sort of solidity. See, women, y'all will turn anything into anything. So now that's foreplay. Now, how is that foreplay on a? That's just how women will change things to make the narrative fit what they want. As close as he is, as close as that man is how close Kiki was to Usher. There ain't no difference. I don't see a difference. He's talking on that one. That was foreplay. Everything that he was doing in there, everything that he was doing with. Now y'all tell me that he was meat to meat. Y'all say okay, he was meat to meat. Now I don't have a dog in this fight at all. But where's Usher's meat and her meat? That's meat to me. One hand on her. Kiki was right there. Y'all say whatever y'all want to say. And to me, I ain't even gonna lie to you. The slow dance is way more intimate than the grind. The slow dance, anytime you decide you're gonna slow dance with somebody, that to me is way more intimate than the grind. You can't slide a piece of paper between Kiki and Usher. You cannot slide a piece of paper between Usher and Kiki. That's how close that man is to that woman. This is the first time they take a break, but she brought it right. Look how close that thing is. That's meat to meat. Y'all say what y'all want to say. And y'all gonna try to, and women will come back. Now, even to come back, to walk away, look, this right here, that, the spin, y'all just trying to go ahead, and y'all just trying to justify what she did. Same thing. You can't tell me, man, here's the thing. Even growing up, you knew there was a difference between the grind. You can't tell me this. I grew up. When you would go grind, you could go to the club. Look at how the club works. You go to the club, and fellas in here, correct me if I'm wrong. You go to the club, you go through, you'll grind on anybody in the club. Song come on, you don't care who it is. You'll grind. You go from one to the next. Because what's gonna happen is you grinding on one, she gonna look up at her friends. Her friends gonna give her the bad signal to tell her yes or no to continue with you. When she be like, no, move on, you slide right on to the next one. You can slide on to the next one. You grind with everybody in the club. A slow dance though, when they play that slow music, that's for lovers only. That slow dance is different. That slow dance is different. There's a different level of intimacy to that slow dance than there is to that grind. I'm just telling you from a male point of view how men can see things. And if I'm wrong, fellas, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. But there's a different level of intimacy. When you go, you take that in, and this one right here, that's different. This right here is the hand placement. It's a hand placement. And so you say he didn't complain about that. Yeah, he didn't complain about it on public, but everybody's been saying it ain't about the dress. It ain't about the dress. It was about Usher. I think she was out back. I think when you take the two things, you put your girl's cheeks on in Usher's region. It's different. That man said, "Don't leave your girl around me." True player for real. Ask my for real. I just think that neither one of them. No, I still think this. I think the slow dance with Usher mixed with both things added together. When you put the cheeks in with the slow drag together, ah, the motherhood ain't had nothing to do with it. The motherhood was a cop out. The motherhood was a cop out. Cop out. He was hurt. He threw that out there as a cop out. You like, look, you dressed like you a mom. That's the only thing he could say. He was trying to figure out a way to express it and make her feel some sort of way, but he couldn't get the words to come out correctly. So he was just like, just you dress like that and you a mom. Kiki's a mom, but she's also 12. She gonna wear all that stuff. He didn't care about the outfit. He had to find some reason, and he couldn't come out and just start. He was butt hurt, yes, but she had her butt out. And here's the thing, y'all act like it's wrong for him to be butt hurt. Why can't a man have feelings in a relationship? Why he can't have standards? Why he can't have expectations? Why can't he not have insecurities? And why was not Kiki? Why was not Kiki sensitive to? Why was Kiki not sensitive to what her man needs? Now we just say she's allowed, she grown. Well, Chance is grown. She allowed. She can do whatever. This whole this has become pervasive in our society, and I don't understand it. Like, now we have this whole nobody has to adhere to any kind of rules, regulations. There's no understanding in relationships, because you grown. Everybody can do whatever they want to. And I'm talking, when I say relationships, I'm talking about any kind of relationship. When we talked about just recently, I was in a discussion about the 14-year-old who ended up shooting the man because he was defending his mother. And I was like, well, why don't we feel like we can de-escalate the situation? When the mama felt like she was in a situation where where it was escalating to a bad point, why didn't she just jump back out? And everybody was like, well, she grown, she shouldn't have to be quiet. Yes, but when we deal with people, and see, here's the thing, put her on web, was she not there? See, here's the thing. See, here's the thing, Javonda. Was she not there the whole time? Did she not participate in all this? Did she not move in? Did she not move in? Everybody can have morals and values. Why didn't she care about his feelings? Is what I'm asking. Is because he's a man? That's crazy. So what? She's not his wife. So when you in a relationship, here's one of the things I've been looking at, and women always talking about. They talking about women always be like, well, if he's not his wife, so what if he's not his wife? What? So what? Do you not have to respect the man that you dating, that you live in the same house with, that you share a kid with? You don't have to respect anything with him just because. So if that was his wife, then it's problem. I mean, what we're doing again, and his ladies is crazy because he talked about his morals and values. Yeah, his morals and his morals and values. Those are his morals and values. Morals and values change based on who the person is. Some values people value and other people don't. Some people value having Sunday dinner every day. That's something that they, I mean, Sunday dinner every Sunday. That's a value that they have in their house. That's something they believe in. Some people believe everybody got to eat at the table. Some people be like, y'all eat wherever y'all want to in the house. One person's morals and values aren't, you can't judge somebody based on what their morals and values are. Those are their morals and their values. We don't all share these same morals and values. So if this is the moral and value that he has, he's like, look, when we in our house, we do whatever we want to do. But when we go out these doors, you representing us, I'm representing you, you represent me. If we in the house together and you twerking, we cool. But once we go outside, I need you to look and act like somebody that's in a relationship. I don't see that as being a problem. I don't see that as being a problem. They're just not. I don't see it as being a problem. They can do whichever they want to. Everybody has their own values, but they have values in their relationship. And I don't think this is the first time he's talked to her about it. I'm not in their house. I'm not in their house to know. Y'all, yeah, nobody cares about him because he's not making no money. He doesn't have the power, the fame, and the respect. So everybody like he leave him, girl. You do what y'all want to do. No, no, that's we become a disposable society. If you don't like something somebody did, y'all just dispose of them. No, I'm almost positive he's talked to her about this before. Because she said she's going through a phase, she's doing whatever, and she's even said, y'all said it. She said, "I'm going through a phase, and people might not like it." Oh, okay, okay. I know he's a writer. I think he's a health and fitness guru. He's just not in the public spotlight like Kiki. So people don't care about him. People don't care about men. That's one of the craziest things. People do not care about men and their feelings. Even in our liberation, I don't believe a man owns a woman at all. But I still think that you still got to respect the relationship, whether you're married or not. Whether you're married or not. He's low key showing us that he's possessive. And who's not? What man isn't? What woman isn't? You can't be like, people be like, they not possessive, but then you be like, who is that? Oh, that's my man. That's my husband. The word the word my, is a possessive word. If you say that's my husband, my boyfriend, my mom, my dad, the word my is possessive. That's my woman, my man. That is a possessive term. Should you be possessive? To a certain extent. Everybody in a relationship is possessive. That's why you decide to be in a relationship. Now, whether or if it's a monogamous relationship, you're definitely possessive. If you're not in a monogamous relationship, if it's open, there is some level of possession in every relationship. In every relationship. I ain't even just talking about a romantic relationship. Even in a friendship, that is my friend. You ain't got friends who get upset when they be like, man, why is you hanging with other people? It's okay. There is some level of possession in everything. There's a level of it. And I think you want it to be that way. I think you want to I think you want people to say that and not. He said she's his wife and she's not. Okay. Oh, your point. Your point. I see people do it all the time. Wife, wifey, the husband, bae, that title, the title, the wife part becomes when you go down and you fill out the paperwork, whatever, whatever. But in many people's mind, and I'll say this to ladies, and ladies, y'all may see it differently, but you're not gonna become a man's wife till he sees you as his wife. That's just until a man's like, that's my wife right there. That's what's gonna start the process. Now, whether he continues the process or not is different. But y'all seem like when she called him his wife, I get it. You do that, and I listen, and that made the whole you don't get to tell her what to wear. That's in your household. That's your moral and your value. That's in your moral and your value. Whenever you do get to tell your spouse or whoever you are, you do get to tell whoever you are, whatever it is, what to wear, what not to wear, in an extent, to an extent. There are things that women are like, hey man, you can't wear that out here. Women, you already know you don't want your man out wearing an elephant thong to the store. Apparently, you don't want your man wearing an elephant thong to the store. He a grown man. Your man come out, he put on an elephant thong. He be like, I'm getting ready to go down to Walmart. Not in that you not. No, I'm a grown man. I get to wear whatever I want to. You can't tell me what to wear. I'm going to the store in this elephant thong. What he's now done is he's disrespected your relationship. Now, when you listen, whether or not you listen or not, fine. But why would you disrespect the relationship like that? Same thing with a man. The man can say, this is not something you wearing this does not make me comfortable. I'm not comfortable with the reaction that it's going to get, the fact that you're doing this, whatever the standard is that y'all trying to, whatever the standard is that y'all are trying to do. It's okay if you feel that way. Everybody's relationship has those levels. If y'all are going to, I've seen women going to church with their man, and the man be like, I'm gonna put on these Timbs and this white t-shirt. And you're like, no, now you're not going to church with me looking like that. That's not what I'm going with. That's not the style that I want. We judge women for wearing bonnets to Walmart. We don't want nobody in bonnets and pajamas. There's always levels of things that you can tell. Now, if you're in a relationship, you can't be like, if you put this on, then it's over. You're on punishment, young lady. No, but you definitely have the right, if you're in a relationship with somebody, to say, this is something that I feel. This is something that I feel. These are my feelings. This is how I feel as your man. You representing us in this relationship. When you go out, I want you to do that. That's cool. That's not an issue. That's being an adult and being in a relationship. Ladies, y'all have standards that you want for your man. Men, y'all have standards y'all want for your lady. That's why ladies buy their men clothes. Hey man, you've been going out embarrassing the family. You've been out going out embarrassing the family. Put these on. A lot of them clothes that men wear are not clothes that men want to wear. They wear them because they wife bought them, or I dress a certain way because I know this is something that my wife likes. It's not an issue of him telling her what to wear. It's just a respect that they have within the relationship. It's just a respect that they have in a relationship. And again, I don't follow Kiki, and I'm not. I'm. I think one of the statements that was said was that both of them was wrong, and I can go with that. I can go with that. I can go with him having insecurities. I can go with him having feelings. One of the biggest things that I just want to get out is we can't keep holding men to this unrealistic standard. That's it. And was he disrespectful by my saying it on Instagram? Sure. 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 But there's Malara's a great friend of mine. I love Malara. She's a relationship expert. And one of the things that she just talked about yesterday, we were on a show yesterday, is she talked about both people in the relationship having an understanding and talking about renewing a lot of the things that they got going on in the relationship. Kiki is growing as a person, she's changing as a person. So maybe she needs to sit with him and say, this is what I want to do. I want to go out cheeks out. Are you okay with me going out cheeks out? No, I'm not. Well, maybe you're not the man for me. Maybe we shouldn't be together because you not a cheeks out person, but I am. Those are the things that you have to discuss in a relationship. And nobody's saying she can't run out with your cheeks out. I'm not saying you can't run around with your cheeks out. Cheek it up. Ladies, if you want to be out with your cheeks out, cheek it up. I do say that a lot of times, How you dress, how you go out in these streets represents who you are. I'll tell you this: if I never knew Kiki. I don't celebrity chase. I don't follow celebrities that way. They need to renegotiate their relationship terms. They do, and there's nothing wrong with that. And he got upset. They might have already, and if they already talked about it, he got upset and vented on social media. It still hurt him for some reason. What is the reason? We didn't get into the reason why he was hurt, because that's true. His feelings are valid. Like, women love to hear my feelings are valid. You need to understand that his feelings are valid, and so are hers. I ain't even gonna lie to you. We are a society of perception of what we see is what we get, right? I ain't even gonna lie to you. If I saw Kiki out, because I don't follow them, if I saw Kiki out in the streets, I'm not thinking that's somebody in a relationship at all. Any kind of relationship. Any kind of relationship. I don't think that somebody's in any relationship. I'm in line at the club and I see that. I'm in line and I see that. I'm like, no, that ain't somebody that's in a relationship. That's all I'm saying. When I see it, I don't think that. Is she not allowed to go to the beach? Of course she's allowed to go to the beach. And everybody's allowed to go to the beach. I always thought that was a ridiculous argument. Do you get up in the morning and put on a bathing suit to go to work? No. You get up in the morning and put on a bathing suit to go to work. Because you don't wear your cheeks out to work. You're not wearing your cheeks out anywhere else. The beach that's appropriate beach weather. It's like I don't wear a tuxedo to go play basketball. If I get up in the morning, I'm like, I'm gonna go run some ball. Let me put on a tuxedo. That's just not what you do. Well, Lakeisha, you different. I'm interested in seeing that they renegotiated the terms when she became a mother. Some men don't communicate their expectations. I need to invite Malira on here. Malira, if you don't mind, I got 5 minutes of show left. I'm about to send you an invitation. Malira, can you come on the show? I know this is different. I don't normally have guests, but Malira is one of my favorite, not just people in the world. She's an amazing person, but she's also a relationship. She's got all kinds of letters. She's a certified everything. She's 68% to her degree, her doctorate. She does everything. Malira, I'm about to send you the link. If you can come in, I would be greatly appreciative. If you can't, then I understand that too. Malira says she's ready and put a butterfly up. We're gonna bring Malira in. And listen, I know this show is running longer than we normally run. It's a great topic. And I think we can get both sides in. And I don't want y'all to want to say I only gave a man's perspective. I'm bringing Malira in. She's a married woman, and for some reason she wakes up in the morning, this early in the morning, already dressed, earrings on, in the proper lighting, both cheeks covered. Thank you, Malira, for coming in.
You are so welcome.
So this is Malira Green, man. Not only a good friend of mine, but just a great individual. She's a licensed clinical social worker, a certified trauma professional, complex trauma professional, and you just got this last one. So congratulations on that one. CAIP. What's that one?
So that is a certified anxiety informed professional.
Anxiety. And so we saw a lot of all of these things in what happened in this situation. There was anxiety in there. There was some trauma, because apparently he's been through some trauma that make him lash back out like that. And she might even have been through some trauma herself to make her act in the way that she's acted. And clinical social work, I mean, she did it socially. She was out socially, and she had her cheeks out socially, and he replied on social media. So one of the things you talked about was expectations of relationships. Kind of help me understand what you're saying with that, because that's not something people talk about a lot.
Yeah, so number one, I want to say thank you for letting me be on. The one thing that popped up, I was looking at some of the comments and they were saying how previously he posted videos of her twerking and pictures and things like that. And what that says to me is he was okay with how she showed up before she was a mother. And sometimes what
Mm.
happens is because their kid is still kind of fresh and new from my understanding, that
They
now
got
that
the
you are
tags
a
on.
mom, and you're out in these streets, I don't think they had a conversation of, well, this is the expectation I want my son's mother to have. I want you to carry yourself in this way. Or, back in the day, it is completely okay for you to have your butt out. But now my son is here. And I don't know if I want him to see your video of you shaking your butt. I don't know if I want him to see you with another man and confuse him. So I think what really happened was, oh, let me see. It said that twerking he posted was just 2 weeks ago. So it's one of them pieces where I think people don't know how things can trigger a person if that expectation is not communicated. So the question would be, if he posted this twerking video, which I didn't see, was she twerking on somebody or was she just twerking by herself? This Usher video, whether it was an expectation, let's take her attire out. From the video that I saw, this young lady had her arm wrapped around him, was moving her body on him. They were engaging. It looked intimate to me. So for me, I'm taking out outfit because, heck, sometimes I wear my little stomach out. So I can't say nothing about her attire. But what I can say is, for some men, especially if they're not secure in the relationship itself and those expectations wasn't discussed, what I saw was a video that looked intimate. And we don't know if maybe she hasn't been intimate with him. We don't know if maybe she hasn't held him that way or things like that. So I think it's bigger than twerking, bigger than her outfit. It's more of, what was his expectations for her in that space. He knew she was going to the concert, but did he know that it was going to be recorded? Did he know that it was going to be a big thing? These celebrities are human too. So we
Mm.
have no idea what it felt like. It'll be different if she just did it and nobody took videos. There was videos circulating of this thing. There was pictures circulated of this thing. Kiki has always pushed the envelope. So I don't think he was surprised about that. I just think sometimes it might be how he perceived it, what was happening at that time. We don't know what was happening behind closed doors that made him say what he said. I don't condone what he says. I feel like that's a conversation that they should have had in person, honestly, but he put it out there.
And so I think there's always going to be levels. He posted a video solely focused on her butt. He didn't even show her face, and he was making sexual comments. So I still think that there's two parts about that. I still think that every man, first of all, has feelings. You can be triggered. I don't think that those feelings go away, especially when it's the person who you've chosen to be with. You know what I'm saying? So I think that you hold them in a different esteem, and like you said, different things can trigger it. Um, and I also think that there's a level to you enjoying your wife or your girlfriend or whoever it is compared to somebody else enjoying your wife or girlfriend or whoever it is. So me twerking with my wife, or me and my wife being in the house and she twerking, or girlfriend, whichever way, and she twerking and I'm enjoying it. This is really for me. We're allowing the public into our lives, but these are my yams. And
Yeah,
I see it. But then you put those yams on somebody else, it's not the same feeling
yeah,
as it is. Second, I'm grown enough to admit it. If my woman goes to a party, leaves me at home with the baby, and I'm like, yo, go ahead, go out, enjoy your night, blah 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 blah, and I see her caked up on Usher,
hmm,
I'm not happy with it, because now you're also, and I think everyone is allowed to have these insecurities. That is Usher Raymond.
yeah,
If the two of them go into a room, everybody knows Usher, nobody knows Darius, right? My wife, out of the three people, if the three of them walk into a room, it's gonna be, oh, hey Kiki, hey Usher.
yeah,
So in some ways, I can see him feeling like he's less of a man than Usher.
hmm,
Your wife is going through changes. She says, I'm getting ready to change, I'm changing. People may not like it. Are you now changing what you like in a man, who you like in a man? Is
yeah,
is there some and like you said, and that's an intimate moment. That's slow dancing.
Yeah.
Slow dancing is really different than just straight up twerking.
Yeah, and it goes back to communication. Like, was that communication? And again, I am not at all here to take sides. So I'm not saying Darius was right or wrong, Kiki was right or wrong, but I want for people to be able to make this practical, right? And in general, if I knew that my significant other was going to go to this concert and I knew because she is an actor, she is a celebrity, and you told me, hey, we're going to have this thing where he's going to play this music and I'm going to dance with him and I'm going to do this. I believe if that conversation, and we've been talking about communication, if that conversation happened before she got there, I don't think he would have responded the way that he did. The video looked like she was free in her moment. She was able to, enjoy and have fun. People captured it. And because of the level of influence that she had, it became celebrity viral. Everybody and their mama sharing it. And now we don't know the inner feelings and thoughts that now he has to deal with. Dang, she's on this piece, like she's doing this stuff. So we have to be mindful that we don't hold people to a certain standard, especially men. I think sometimes as women, we can be very free going and be like, I'm just hanging out with my girls. I'm just going to this concert. That dance didn't mean nothing to me. But again, if that man already has insecurities, if he is still trying to establish what y'all are in relationship, whether he just posted her butt ass naked, regardless of what he did, in that moment when it met him, there was something triggered and he responded. Was his response the best? Absolutely not.
No.
But now we have to deal with this conversation of in your own relationship, how well are you communicating? My husband know I like to dance. So if I'm going out with my girls and I don't do that often and I'm dancing, he already knows I'm gonna be respectful enough and not dance on nobody because I know how I dance. This person
Mm.
was hurt. And we have to respect the fact that he was hurt, even if he didn't make the right decision. He could have came to her and said, look, I don't like how that looked. I know we can't take it down. This is how I feel. But what are we going to do in the future? Am I still going to be your man? Did we talk about this new agreement? It's that space. We just need to start having those levels of conversation.
And one of the things I don't think that even Kiki understands, and maybe even Darius understands, is the fishbowl of celebrity, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just like you said, if that situation happens, if that situation happens to you, and not taking anything away, from you, but if that same situation happens to you, it's not a big deal because it's not going to be plastered in his face every day. And like I said, one of his boys called. I don't even know Darius like that, but I know one of Darius' boys was like, "Hey, dog, did you see Kiki? Cuz." And so now everything in that whole relationship is amplified. So you now have outside influences playing on you. And so is it fair that you live in a fishbowl? That's part of the whole thing with fame. You know what I'm saying? Like, I already know I can't always go out. I would love to go out sometimes in just my pajamas, a wife beater, run to the corner store. But I also know that I have a level, and I'm nowhere. And don't get me wrong, I'm nowhere in Kiki land.
Yeah.
But I still, even in my own little level, know I don't know who I'm gonna run into. I don't know how it's gonna be seen. I don't know who's ready to put whatever on internet. So I gotta also always think about those things. I gotta think about I got kids. How do I want my kids to be represented? How do I want my family to be represented? I think it's all part of it. But I think we're taking away a lot of what upset me about it was that women and some men acted like he wasn't allowed to have feelings, like he wasn't allowed to
Yeah.
express incorrectly. Now he handled it wrong. It's a conversation they're supposed to have in the house, without question. And he went on, and it was a lightweight, and people were like, he's dragging her. I was like, that ain't even a drag. That's a comment. He was
Yeah.
like, come on, it's the outfit. You're a mom. Okay, cool. But at the end of the day, let's get to the surface level. Yes, he handled it wrong, but she wasn't always right too. I seen one of the husbands on here said, "Thank you. You said you would be respectful."
Yeah.
And so the question that I have is, and you're a relationship person, you do relationships. The
Yeah.
question I have is that people are saying, "Well, that's not his wife, so she can do what she want." Is that true? Do you think? Does that lead to successful relationships?
It honestly doesn't. It has to be harmony and balance. And I'll tell anybody, I don't perfect this. I don't have it perfect. But what I will say, it all goes down to communication. you and your significant other, or even if y'all not significant other and you share children, there has to be an explicitly stated contract between the two of you of what my expectations are, what is a go, what's not a go. So let's say, yes, she is not his wife, right? Because that's what I'm hearing. And then people are saying, he's mom shaming. And we can get on that topic, but that's another topic for another day. What I will say is, if you are in any type of relationship or connection with a person, I need to know, what are your non-negotiables. For this individual, for this male, again, he handled it completely wrong. But I think he had an unexpressed non-negotiable that he didn't talk to Kiki about. That's what it looked like from the outside looking in. If he has been posting all these videos and pictures, and normally you so sexy, you fine, I love you, I whatever, but then you put her on Usher Raymond, regardless of what she had on, that triggered his unexpressed non-negotiable. He's like, look, you can do this yourself, but when you add somebody else to it, oh, that's a no-no for me. And then his way of responding again was not appropriate. And it was in a way like, well, you a mom. Well, what does that mean? Instead of him saying you a mom, he could say, hey, that's not what I want for my son's mother to be doing. Because we do have to also understand, once it's out on social media, it doesn't go away. It really doesn't. Like, it's and I see some of the other comments that scrolling, kind of like, he want to control the narrative, he want to do whatever. I don't think that his response was trying to control anything. I think his response was an emotional response.
Absolutely.
We behave off of our emotions. People have to understand, when situations happen, we perceive it with our thoughts. How I perceive it is how I'm going to feel about it. How I feel about it is how I'm going to behave. And I'm going to behave in a way to either get it from not making me feel bad or to keep this feeling going. So if he was emotionally triggered, we have to acknowledge that. I don't want us to slam him or her. He was emotionally triggered. He behaved like a child, because we do throw temper tantrums. And now this is the result. So it all comes down to, she triggered an unexpressed non-negotiable for him. I don't mind you sharing your body with the world. I don't mind you wearing whatever that you want to wear. I don't mind you doing these things. But what I do mind is, what you're not about to do is share these jams that I had last night with Usher Raymond. Like, I really think that's what was really the issue. And we can sit here talk male, female, men is this, women is that. It is a human being that got hurt. Everybody and their mama saw it. We went, what was it, maybe 4 hours before we even got his post, and then now it turned to him. As human beings, we just need to communicate what our non-negotiables are. And at the same time, with my husband, if I do go out with my girls, and let me just say, listen, if I say, you know what, babe, I'm about to have an adult beverage, this is my girl's, friend. If somebody come behind me, you might see me kind of do whatever. I'm going to tell him before I go. I'm going to tell him, look, this is what I'm going to do. Then I'm going to move. If he tells me, you bet not put your cakes on nobody, guess what? Malara's not going to do that. But that's because we had that conversation. So if anybody record me, you're not going to see me with anybody else. So I think that's really what it is. He had an emotional reaction, and we're dragging both of them and making something significant that honestly really isn't.
I love it. And I love the fact that he was like, if you don't, and that just comes out of respect. You still have the option the slam yams wherever you want to. It's your yamage. I don't think that's body control. But I think that a lot of times those things are things that protect your emotional peace. And like you said, your own expectations. My expectations for my woman is that those are my yams. And if somebody's like that's being possessive, yeah, I those are my yams. I filled out the paperwork for those yams, and I don't want anybody else on those yams. And it takes me to a place. And so I think both people have a level of respect, and it comes down to respecting each other. She said, I don't even know Malara, but she's about to be my counselor and my life coach. So, and that's what she actually does. Yamage can lead to damage. And we're gonna get off here because it's been way too long. But I definitely want to say, one of the things that I think protects our peace, and I'm glad you said that, Malara, is that we should have these understandings in probably all our relationships, whether it be our romantic relationships, our interpersonal relationships, our relationships with people at work. Like, I think a lot of friendships end up dissolving because you expect one thing out of your friends. I don't expect it out of those friends, and we never meet in the middle, and we never have a conversation. Nobody says, "Hey, man, I really." Out of my friends, I expect this. I expect loyalty. I expect you to answer when I call, blah, 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 blah. Where you have other friends who like, Lonzo's one of my best friends, or two of my best friends up here, Alonzo and Darius. Alonzo, I talk to almost every day. Darius, I talk to when the moon is blue. But when that moon turns blue, the expectation from both of us is if I call on you and I need you, you're going to be there. If I call on you and I need something, you'll be there. Where me and Zoe talk every day, that's kind of the expectation for our friendship. So I think all of our communication is just key, and not just communicating, but effective communication. Because a lot of times we talk at people, that's not communicating. Communicating is me being open to hearing what you're saying, you're hearing what I'm saying, and we kind of go back and forth and create a dialogue. That's great, man. I love it, Malira.
Thank you for having me on. No,
let me do this. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And I didn't say Renard. And so the constant wows when I said my best friends are on here, and I didn't say Renard. So that's what got me the 5 wows. I just kind of forgot you was on here, Renard. And Renard is different. And it's crazy because Renard and our relationship is, there are things in our relationship that I know I can and can't do with Renard. I know Renard is a PTSD guy. I know I can't throw my keys in the air around Renard. And people will be like, well, you a grown man. You should be able to throw your keys. No, but I know what that's going to do to Renard. And he's going to try to kill Charlie. And there ain't going to be nobody in the room named Charlie. So, all your relationships have levels, man. So I definitely appreciate you, Malira. And if people don't know who Malira is a fantastic, amazing counselor, life coach. She does a lot of amazing things, man. And you all can get where she's open to be hired. So definitely hire. Definitely, and this is what I said. She's definitely open to be hired, which is a financial relationship, and there will be communication about that. But let people know how they can get in contact with you and just the different services that you offer.
Yeah, so again, I'm Malira Green. I am a licensed clinical social worker, but honestly, I'm just a servant at heart. As far as what I provide, I am a psychotherapist, so I do a lot with PTSD, schizophrenia, and those like heavy hitter diagnoses, because I want to normalize for people their experience so that when you go, you don't have to go into the hospital, you can actually live your life. I'm also a life coach. So I have an 8-week program that I walk people through. So then, do I actually need a therapist or do I need a coach? So in this space, you learn who you are. So then you know what direction you need to go into and what's keeping you stuck. I am a transformative speaker. I'm a Reiki master. So I do a lot of healing stuff. I'm a spiritual girl. So I do a lot of ministry. But all in all, my purpose is when I die, I want suicide to die with me. So I create customizable services based off of what you need. I've done family interventions. I've done grief work for universities. So I am here to really support. You can find me at www.maliratransforms.com. I am on IG, Malira Transform, Facebook, Malira Green. On YouTube, I'm trying to get people up there as well, which is Transforming with Malira. And I always share my number with people because I feel like some people don't know where to start. Even if I'm not your start, I'm okay with that. I will connect you with who is. So that number is 757-609-0694. Again, that's 757-609-0694. And I do have some openings for some therapy people who want that. And then the coaching program, if you want to do it with you and your best girlfriends or organization, you can always do that as well.
Give me the phone number one more time.
757-609-0694.
Yeah, I was gonna type it in so that people can see it. I appreciate you, man. I need to apologize because I think how often that you and I have talked and we've done so many things that I haven't even gotten into knowing all the things that you did. I don't think I've ever been like, hey, Malira, just tell me all the things that you do. I think we've kind of just dumped stuff on you and said, this is what she is, rather than let you say, this is who I am. So, man, I appreciate that, man. And I apologize off the top for not letting people know that off the top. So I apologize for that. Thanks so much, Malira. I'm finna go, man. I've been on here an hour and 19 minutes. That's a long time for me, man. My attention span isn't that long. But again, thanks everybody for tuning in. I think the key to this is, man, from both sides. One of the things I want people to know is that men have feelings too. I don't think that men, and that was one of the things I didn't want people to miss throughout this whole situation with Darius. Darius is a man, but as a man, you're still a human. Ladies, I want y'all to know that men have feelings too. A lot of times we've been told to suppress our feelings and we can't act on them. And so then when we finally do act on them, we act on them incorrectly. I think that might have been some of the thing that went on with Darius. But I want men to know that it's okay to have your feelings, to express your feelings, to talk about what's going on. I think that transparency only helps any kind of relationship that you're in, whether it's friendship, whether it's a romantic relationship, whether it's a business relationship. Set your expectations, let people know what you got. It doesn't matter who makes the most money in the relationship. Both people should be valued the same. The price and the value of something are two different things. And let's just try to be happy on this thing, whether you want your yams out or not. Whether you want your yams out or not. And we listen, Javonna, and you're absolutely right. We need to teach men how to express their feelings in a healthy way, but we also need to teach women how to accept when men express their feelings. That's one of the things that I noticed that men have done, that they express their feelings, and women don't know how to accept men talking about their feelings. A man talking about his feelings does not make him weak, does not make him strong. And also, please, women, I ask, please don't weaponize a man expressing his feelings against him later on, because that's one of the things I know a lot of men are afraid of. And Darius said our feelings need to be respected. A lot of men are afraid of expressing their feelings to a woman. Then later on, when she gets mad, she be like, "That's why you always had mama issues and you miss your mama." Whoa. Yes, I do. So there you go. It doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you any less of a man. I think it makes you a better person when you can openly communicate and deal with your feelings. Thank you so much, Malira. I'm gonna roll out with you on the show, or throw you off, whichever way. I'm gonna get out of here. But thank you so much, man, and thank you for being completely dressed and ready to go at 8:15 in the morning. That is a miracle in itself, because I don't know how you did it.
You're totally welcome. But thank
You
you so much for having me.
You ready to do morning weather first thing in the morning. I love it. That's Malira Green, y'all. Y'all check her out. Her numbers in there, man. If you have things that you're going through and you need, like she said, a starting point, she's a great place to start. And if she's not your starting point, she'll lead you to it. Man, we had a great time on a Friday, man. Thank y'all for hanging in there, man. Y'all make sure y'all share the show. I know people won't watch all hour and some change, but you know, it is what it is. So we had a good time, man. We're going to be out of here. I'm leaving y'all with an awkward pause. And then we